So I think that you know what I ought to do sometime is grab the predestination box off of the shelf in there. You know, it's still up. It's still in there. No. I'm not talking about the box of the light. Don't you remember the wooden box? Yes, it's up on the top shelf in the other room. I
wonder how that would look over video. We should test that.
I think it could work.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
By the way, there was another Star Trek episode where they talked about, they had a guy in some station quoting Psalms right and left. Don't you remember that one? Oh, wait a
minute. Are you talking about the original Star Trek?
Yes.
Quoting Psalms?
Yes, he was quoting Psalms. He kept talking about the scriptures right and left, and he was driving the guy. It was like a missile silo. Remember when they went back to the nuclear age, and there's two guys in the silo with the keys, and the one guy kept quoting Psalms and talking about God this and God that, and the other guy with him, it was driving him crazy. But you do not remember this.
No.
I out-Trekkied you. Ha!
I'm starting to think that that may not have been a Star Trek episode either. It might have been a movie. You're confusing.
No, that was Star Trek. That was in the episode where they went back in time.
Which time when they went back in time? They went back in time
yeah, I was going to say. I mean, are you talking to,
I don't have the exact episode number.
I'm feeling challenged because the only one where they went back there was when they got that captain and beamed him out of his old jet before it blew up, and then they had to do the slingshot.
There was one more time.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything about any missile silos in that one. So.
Well, no, there was one where they go back in time and they pick up that dude that was a human, but aliens had him because it was supposed to be a pilot for a new show that never got off the ground. And he does some work on a missile, on a rocket that's going up.
That's the one. And here we go. We're gonna have to go long on the show because we're talking about Star Trek.
We've got people online. We're gonna go long, but I'm gonna have to look that up because I've seen all of them many times and it's just not ringing a bell. So maybe it's just how you're describing it. But anyways, Thomas, I'm sorry. That's why I would avoid that. There are so many biblical analogies that the problem with a hologram type situation is that's artificial. And what I'm really concerned about, what bothers me there, is that one of the things I emphasize is that the incarnation, from a Christian perspective, demonstrates the reality and importance of events in time and man's will in time. I think that's one of the reasons why you see the struggle in Jesus, for example, in the Garden of Gethsemane. I mean, that's not a robotic or secondary type thing. There's a real struggle there. He has a real will. It's not death that he fears. It's becoming sin, obviously, that is the issue. But still, that incarnation demonstrates that time and the experiences in time are not just simply a holodeck or a puppet stage. That this is actually what God has chosen to do to demonstrate his own attributes and demonstrate his own glory. So it's real in a sense that none of those analogies actually I think can address. So I guess that's why I stick with a biblical analogy there.
I hear you. Okay, that makes sense. I guess I'm still struggling then, I guess, with our will versus the hidden will of God and how all of that is working out. I'm still digesting that in my mind.
Keep struggling, keep working on it, but the best place to do that is in the context of Scripture itself.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Thomas. All right, God bless. All right, and let's talk with Mark in Minnesota. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Dr. White, it's good to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
I got a degree in history from a secular college in Illinois back when I lived there. And it's been about 20 years ago. I can't remember the name of the book, but we had to read this book on the sexual mores of American troops and how they were negatively impacted, from a Christian worldview anyways, by the time in Europe especially. There was talk of massive prostitution going on in England before the Normandy invasion. And yeah, it's just really eye-opening because I've never heard of anything like that happening here, but even the public parks became places where prostitution was just happening all over the place. And so what they said, my take as a believer, was that our guys went over there. They know that they're facing death, and for nominal Christians, they said, well, I might as well have a little fun and experience, sexual intimacy before I die.
Right.
And so it broke down their social mores that they had come from, the Christian basis of our nation. And then what it does when they come home is they know they've got this secret that they can never tell anybody because we're a society, and a church society especially, of shame back then, where you can't confess and say, I screwed up. You have to keep it a secret. And so then it totally hamstrings them from preparing the next generation to give a godly answer to the pressures of morality, and the 1960s happen as a result of that vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that has to be combined, though, with the dehumanizing violence.
Sure.
I know more about that in the pressure cooker of Tarawa or Okinawa or, that kind of thing. That it all goes together. But yeah, I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. And it just, like you say, exactly. It's just one more thing, one more breakdown of their worldview, of their sense of morality, and of who they are as Americans and, cultural Christians at the time. So,
yeah. Well, I appreciate that insight, Mark.
You're very welcome.
All right, God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
All right, bye-bye. I do need to. There is a Twitter thing. Well, we'll get both Carlos and Josh in here. We can go a few minutes late. No, the network is not going to get on us at all. Because there is no network. But 1689 Black RBAP, Reformed Baptist, did remind me of something here on Twitter. Captain Kirk, mankind has no need for gods. We find the one quite adequate. I remember that quote. I do remember that quote. That was that the one with No, that's Kirk. No. Well, yeah, Kirk was in Undiscovered Country, but that was a movie. This was in the series, and I think it was with Apollo. Remember when Apollo wanted them to worship him and all the rest of that stuff? And I think that was that one with Apollo. I'm not sure, but yes, it's Star Trek Day on Alpha and Omega Ministries Dividing Line. Whatever. Yeah. All right, let's talk with Carlos. Hi, Carlos.
Hey, Dr. White. So apart from the usual pleasantries everyone goes through, drift straight to the